Hello everyone and welcome to Photo Finds. I'm your host Gavin Hatch. This week I'm really excited for this week's episode because I love going to the parks in the mornings before they open up, or right when they open up I should say, and that's what I did this week. So yesterday, President's Day, I went to Universal Studios Florida and I got some great shots before the park opened and then also right when it opened up inside. So let's start off here at the front at the archways, the gates to the park at Universal Studios Florida. You can see that there is no one around. I love the lighting. I love how the lighting at nighttime pretty much stays on all night, and it's well lit if you are there early in the morning before the sun rises. And then as you can see, it's empty. The globe's not even rotating. And then about, I'd say 30 minutes later, about 45 minutes later, this is about 45 minutes before the park opens up. Now this is, 45 minutes before the park opens, this is a pretty good sized crowd here. So you can see obviously President's Day brings in a lot of people because it is a holiday and no one's in school and a lot of people have the day off from work. So we are getting this shot above the crowds, and it's going to be a good day, but it's going to be a busy day. That's why I like to get there early, especially on holidays. So let's go ahead and go inside the park once they open up, and we be one of the first. The cool thing about being there so early, and if you're looking to get great shots, if you're a photographer or just want to stroll around the park, everyone goes to Diagon Alley first thing, so that's where all the crowds are going to be, the people that first get there in the morning. Everywhere else in the park is going to still be pretty much empty. If you want to go over to World Expo or Springfield or in the streets of New York, you're not going to see a lot of guests, so it's going to really make for some great shots if you are a photographer. So let's start inside the park over at Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon. It's opening on April 6th, and soft openings and previews should begin, I think, any day now, really. Judging by the outside of this building, it looks like it is pretty much done. I mean, the store inside is great and finished, and they've added some things which I'll show you in a second, but this is the side, and you can see they finally were able to go ahead and finish painting. I think everything's done when it comes to paint. And add-ons to the outside of the building, the exterior, and the soundstage. I was kind of shocked that they did not go ahead and wrap the entire soundstage, even the side here above the restrooms. I thought that was probably going to also be a facade, but I guess they decided to just go ahead and only do the facade up until right before the bathrooms and cover pretty much where the store is and where the store ends. But it still looks good. The facade of the windows, and especially at night when they're all lit up, it looks realistic and it looks like 30 Rock in New York City, and it's just, of course, not as tall, but it does look really good. And you can just see some of the details here. There's some guys still doing some work on the balcony, which we don't know what that's going to be yet. I don't know if that's going to be an area for guests or an area just for team members, but there's like a balcony out there for people to hang out on, it looks like, and there were some construction workers up there doing some finishing touches, probably paint wise. At nighttime, the Comcast sign really, it does light up, and it looks great, and I love how you can actually see it from outside the park through the archways. You can see the Comcast and NBC logo, which is a really cool thing. Now we can also see the stage door sign. This is really, I love it's just detailed theming here. This is next to a door by the store, and I don't know where it leads to. It's probably just an area for team members, but there is a door here and it says stage door. So again, just a little detail here that I love. And I'm sure we'll find things like this all throughout the interior as well, and the queue, and I cannot wait for it to open. I'm really excited. I actually kind of feel like Jimmy Fallon because he's always excited about everything. So with this is how I feel about this attraction. I cannot wait. But let's keep looking here at other stuff. They added some posters and images to the back of the cash register section inside the store that you can see from outside. So with the glare, it might not be very easy for you guys to see, but they do have a picture here of Jimmy Fallon, and this is on the other side of the cash register inside the NBC store, or the Tonight Shop, I'm sorry. The Tonight Shop is the official title for this store. And then there's also another one, and on the other side of this display it's just a display where they have clothes and things hanging up in shelves, but from the street it's just the Roots crew, and that's a really cool picture there. And again, it's not the best angle because of the lighting, but of course at night you'll definitely be able to see it easily, and during the day in person it's easier to see, but a nice touch. I also noticed that they have these themed 30 Rock trash cans. Now it doesn't say 30 Rock or anything on them, but they're obviously brand new. They're just in this area of the park, just for this attraction out front here. They have both regular and also recyclable options there. So that's a nice little trash can. It does kind of look aged, and it looks authentic. To my knowledge, it looks authentic. So yeah, looks good. Now the front of this building is really just what is blowing everyone away. Everyone's talking. Everyone I've talked to, even those who weren't really a big fan of the idea of putting a ride like this in the park and replacing Twister, they are still saying this is really impressive, and the amount of time that they've done it, it's very detailed, very large, very just big, and it looks realistic. And I've talked to people from New York that are in the city and have been to the real 30 Rock, and they say it does look very much like the one in New York City. So I'm glad that Universal Creative really went all out and did their research like always and did a great job with this. And it's just, I love looking at this from the outside, and you can even see they've added some stuff since last time we were here. There are now height check signs. There is also the warning sign. They don't have it covered up, which I like, so it's actually out and about. You can see the description of the ride, and it has all the warning labels on there. And then there is also, you'll notice there's multiple doors at the main entrance, but it's just one entrance. There's no express here. So when you come to this attraction, it's going to be virtual queuing. You're going to make a reservation via the Universal Orlando app in advance and reserve a time to come ride this the day that you're there. And then when you arrive, you're going to go through this entrance. Everyone will go through the entrance, and you won't have to queue up in a long queue. Now, I've been told that when you're in the queue, there's going to be like live entertainment. There's going to be meet and greets with #Panda. It's really going to the queue itself. I think with Skull Island, the queue is really going to be an immersive part of the attraction. It's really going to be an extension of the ride itself, which I am excited about. Things like that. I love the queue. And it's going to also, from what I've read and what we've heard, it's also going to have kind of like a museum aspect to it, where you'll see actual pieces of wardrobe from past hosts and desks and things like that, and props from The Tonight Show, which is, has a huge legacy. Right across the street from Race to New York, we have the French Quarter, which is set up just for the Mardi Gras event that's going on this time of year. And this is the first time Mardi Gras has happened for 50 nights. It's no longer just a weekend event. This is something they're trying this year, and I hope they bring back, because I think it's being very successful. They have the parade going on for 50 nights, so it's weeknights and weekends, and then on the weekends is when they have those big names and those performers come out and do the concerts in the park. That's included with your theme park admission if you're going to Universal Studios Florida. So the French Quarter area is where you can get authentic specialty foods that you would find in New Orleans. I'm not 100% sure if it is actual cooks and restaurants that are from New Orleans that come down and set up here, or if it's just the Universal. I'm pretty sure it's just the Universal team. The Universal team sets up and sells just the food that you would find in New Orleans. But I do like that they have all kinds of specialty drinks. They actually changed this stand, this popcorn stand that's here throughout the year. They took the name down of it, and so it doesn't even have a name right now, and they've converted it to just be a location where you can get, of course, your sodas and I think even beers, but they also have the specialty fruity like cocktails that they have. There's 3 of them to choose from for the Mardi Gras event, and there actually might be more than 3, but they do advertise it here, and it's really cool. They look delicious, that's for sure. But I love this area of the park. It's really nice, and it does get full, of course, in the evening when the events are going on. Performers are running around the streets and meet and greeting with guests. But something they're doing different this year, and also you can get drinks, the same drinks. You don't have to get them here in the French Quarter. I noticed they also, over by the Garden of Allah or the Cafe La Bamba, they have another popcorn and drink stand, and they are also selling those specialty cocktails over there, so you can get it over on the other side of the park as well. You don't have to come over to the French Quarter to get those drinks. But like I was saying, something really cool about the French Quarter this year is that they removed the stage. They usually have a stage right here on the corner of the street, and they don't have that there this year. Usually it's used to have like not big name performers, but just hometown bands from New Orleans come down. They just perform, they do things, and they're do their music. But this year they don't have the stage. Instead, they're letting those performers still come down and do their entertainment in the park, but what they're doing is they're walking through the streets instead and going around the French Quarter and the streets in New York, and they're just kind of going in between the crowds. And so it's more interactive, and it's just more personalized, and they're not on that stage. So I like that idea. I think it's cool. I've seen some great videos and pictures of these bands, and you can definitely tell that they are the real deal, and that I think they probably have a lot of fun coming down here performing, that's for sure. Now, steps away from the French Quarter and across the street from the Transformers 3D attraction on Delancey Street, there's something that I've never seen before that actually still pretty new. During the Harry Potter weekend, they added a specially themed little, just a facade from the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them film. Now, my boss Michael actually took me over here to see this later in the afternoon, so this is later on the day. You'll see there's a lot more people in the streets. This is not in the morning I took these pictures. This is in the afternoon, so we're kind of jumping ahead of ourselves, but it's in the area of the park that we were just at. Now, this is called the Blind Pig. Now, the Blind Pig is a speakeasy, as they call them, and from 1926 in New York City, and that's where the film Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them takes place. So this is where, I haven't seen the film, so this is why I'm going off based on what I've been told, but this is where they go in the film, and it's just, I guess, a bar, just a place to go get a drink in 1926 in New York City. And this is, you know, that's the kind of the time frame, the era that Delancey Street and Universal Studios, this is when they kind of, that era they're trying to make it be perceived as. So I think it's pretty cool. It fits in well. It's kind of hidden. So if you've seen this before, I mean, I'm sure you got a picture in front of it if you're a big fan of Harry Potter or Fantastic Beasts, but if you haven't been to the parks lately, haven't seen this, I'm not sure if it's going to be permanent. I don't know if it's going to be something that they'll eventually remove, or if they forgot to remove it after the Harry Potter celebration weekend, but it is still there as of Monday, President's Day. So if you're in the park on Delancey Street, go ahead and take a look at this, because it's pretty cool. I like how they are integrating Potter stuff into the park outside of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, because obviously Fantastic Beasts is its own thing, and it takes place in New York City, which the park already had. So I think this is really cool, and I'm sure down the road we will see Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. That franchise is going to be implemented, I'm sure, into attractions or shows in the park years to come. So let's take a look over here at Fast and Furious Supercharged. This is, I've said it every time I've taken pictures of this show building is just unreal. It's so huge, and it's just growing and growing, and now they are adding what probably will be the queue. I'm guessing this will be the queue. I don't think the entrance is going to be over where Disaster's entrance used to be. I think the entrance to this attraction will be over where Beetlejuice's stage used to be. And the courtyard is still there, by the way, which is pretty cool. But this is just, it's growing, and they've pretty much enclosed the entire building, and they have started working. They've painted it. They've put one coat of paint on here, but I don't think that's the final color. I'm sure they're going to layer it and do different things and really age it, because it looks like this is going to be supposed to resemble a warehouse of some kind. So I think, based on what I've seen here, now I took a close-up picture of something that they've put in place on what is going to be like a fake window, and it looks like it's like broken. It looks like something from a warehouse, like broken glass and just type of an old warehouse that has been abandoned. And based on the concept art that we saw when they released information about this attraction when it was announced, it definitely does look like the queue is inside of a warehouse setting. So I think that's the feel we're going for, and that's what it's going to look like when it's finished, but definitely still in the early stages of putting on the exterior work and getting the paint and just theming it, I should say. So there's not a lot of theming yet, but it's definitely going to be a big thing, and you can see it when you're walking around pretty much all the areas of the lagoon. So I cannot wait for this to open up next year. We have enough stuff to keep us excited this year. We have Jimmy Fallon coming up very soon, and we also have this summer the new Volcano Bay water park. So next year is going to be exciting because we'll have something else, and it's going to be a big addition to the park. So really looking forward to this, and I love watching this just grow every single day. And for you fans of Beetlejuice that missed that show, the courtyard, like I said, is still there. So this is really a time before they go ahead and put up walls around this courtyard and demolish this. You might want to come out to the parks and get some really great photos, because I love this fountain. This is really something, I don't know, I like it. So I got a picture of that, and I also think it's so funny how the Graveyard Snacks kiosk is still there, and it still is called Graveyard Snacks. So this here, I think this sign eventually, when they boarded this area up and they tear this down, I'm sure we'll see that Graveyard Snacks sign be sold over at the Williams of Hollywood store on Hollywood Boulevard in the park. And I wonder how much it's going to be charged. I'm sure it'll be sold pretty quick. I'm sure someone is going to snatch that up real quick, but it will be, I'm sure, for a pretty penny, because that has, you know, that's been there for quite some time, and there's not a lot of artifacts from the Beetlejuice show that were sold in that Williams of Hollywood store. So a lot of people are probably going to grab that. I doubt the fountain's going to be sold, but I'm sure the signs and things from the kiosk will. Now over by Bruce the Shark, I noticed that there is still a Souvenir penny machine over here, and it states that they have Jaws Souvenir pennies. Now I was curious to see if they had any of those pennies that have the like Jaws Ami-6 boat on it, or anything that had to do with the ride itself, not just the area of the park. And unfortunately I saw that they just had pretty much the penny with the hanging shark Bruce on it, and also just Ami, which I still like both of these, but I was hoping maybe one that was from the actual attraction. But of course they took those out, looks like, because there were 2 more spots that have been replaced with X-Men and Spider-Man, so obviously those are kind of random. I mean, they're over Islands of Adventure, but still kind of random to have over in this area of the park. But I think I've seen on my way out, I should have taken a picture, I think there was another Souvenir penny machine in one of the parking structures after you leave the security check area, and I think it said "I survived Jaws." It might have been Jurassic Park, but I think I've seen one that says "I survived Jaws." So not sure, I'm not 100% sure. If you know the answer, comment below obviously, but I think there is another Souvenir penny machine somewhere on property that still has a penny that says "I survived Jaws," even though that attraction has been long gone since like 2012. So I think this is still cool though. I love these penny machines, and I think that's neat that they have it over right across from Bruce. Now last year Universal purchased DreamWorks Animation Studios, so all the DreamWorks films are now part of the Universal family, and you will, I'm sure, down the road see more attractions I should say, because we already have Shrek, but more attractions themed to different DreamWorks films put into the parks. Now I have been told and seen, I'm not sure if they're still doing it, I haven't seen it recently, but I know that they were doing the Penguins of Madagascar, they were doing meet and greets over here next to Cafe La Bamba. Now of course this was early in the morning, so they were not out just yet, but I'm pretty sure they're still doing those meet and greets, because I saw some queue rope up in the area behind me out of frame here. But if you are a big fan of Madagascar penguins, they are doing meet and greets in the parks, and I'm sure we will again continue to see. They were here years ago, they stopped doing it, and now they're back, since I'm sure because Universal purchasing DreamWorks, but I'm sure we'll start seeing a lot more DreamWorks characters be integrated into the rides and shows of the parks. Now this shot right here, this is my favorite picture, because this is why I love coming to the parks right when they open up in the morning. And if I have the chance to get into the park before it opens up, which usually happens at Universal because I work there, this is really what does it for me. I love coming and just walking through before the people get in the park, because you can really just take your time and look at everything, and you don't have to worry about getting in someone's way, in someone's picture, no one's getting in your picture. So it really is just, it's relaxing. And the music, you can hear the music, it's really loud because there's no other noise around you. So it's really a great experience. If you haven't had the chance to get to a park and do like early park admission, I highly recommend it. Or hang out in the parks as long as you can after they close, because security is not going to just like kick you right out. They kind of let you linger for a bit, so try to just let everyone else out and stay in the back, and slowly make your way up to the front of the park. And while you're doing that, just take it all in, because it's really a different feel, different experience when the park is a lot less crowded and pretty much empty. Now walking through the hub back to the parking structures, I looked up and I felt the wind. I saw these giant fans they just installed, and this is a great idea. I'm sure the team members that work over here in the hub all day are really excited about this, because this is something that will help definitely during the summer, because it is so hot in here in the summer. And now they have a lot more people in here with team members working because of security measures, and also all the machines they've added in here because of the security measures. So I'm sure it's even hotter than usual. So with these fans here, there's multiple fans. They're all really big, and they give off some just great wind. It feels amazing in there. So walking through here was a very nice experience. It wasn't too crowded because obviously it was in the afternoon, but in the summer, in the mornings, it's going to be really warm, and these are going to be helping them out a lot. So definitely a good move on Universal's part. Well, that will do it for this week's edition of Photo Finds. I hope all of you have a great week. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Go ahead and comment below, and let's talk about everything that we discussed today at Universal Studios. And just, make sure you subscribe to Attractions Magazine. That way you can see all the great content here on this channel. So until next time, you guys, make sure you get out, you have fun, and you enjoy those parks.